Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is the horoscope for Capricorn. If Capricorn is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so Capricorn, our card tonight is the Page of Pentacles, or the Princess of Discs. And, oh, this is a bonus reading. Yes, a bonus reading. So, let's see what these tea leaves are going to tell us. Okay, and let's go ahead and take a look. And so immediately, we have an animal of some kind. Let's see. It reminds me of maybe a wolf. We have the ears up here, okay, and kind of the little eyes and the nose, and then I just imagine kind of I almost like a quiet, a period of quiet, of things kind of maybe have deteriorated, not all the way fallen apart, but there's a sense of being detached from a situation. Kind of almost like, it's kind of like, you know, I don't know, what was I thinking? Like if you have put in your 2 weeks at work, that kind of in-between place that you're in, where you're showing up. Are you doing 100%? I don't know, maybe. You're a Capricorn, so you might be. But for the rest of us, we're just kind of showing up, usually. Getting through those last days. And it is almost, it's kind of a situation like that. It might even be like, you know, a separation in a marriage. Or, you know, we're at the end of summer here. Or, well, it's not the end, but it feels like it, right? August has begun, and the kids are starting to, the older kids anyways, they're starting to gear into knowing I'm going back to school soon. And so there's this in-between. It is the march towards the next thing. And I'm looking at this, and I feel like there's almost this place that you have gone to in your mind where you are searching for what the next move is going to be. And I feel you really kind of taking everything in, looking at all of your options, making a really calculated decision here. Now, because it is the wolf and it is kind of this feeling of being out there on your own, I do feel like there is almost this sense of having to make some really maybe tough, or what you might consider a little bit of a ruthless decision. And, you know, I think it's a lot to do with your own self-interest, but also maybe the collective interests of your family, your close people. You know, you maybe are have your own business, or this is within your career, and you're having to make decisions that other people can't understand, or, you know, it's something that maybe makes them quite reactive. This is why I think that Capricorn people are so good at management, right? Being in these positions where it's not that there's a lack of emotionality, not at all. There is a high emotional intelligence to Capricorn people, but you're willing and able to make hard decisions outside of sentimentality. And that's the big thing there. Most of us, not at all. Like I personally, as a Virgo, even though I am a Capricorn rising, I avoid management situations. I always have. whenever I was, at a job, usually I was waitressing. But when I was at a job where they wanted to promote me to, take on any kind of management stuff, would not do it. I don't like telling people what to do. I just don't, and I don't like making hard decisions. I like everybody to be cool and chill and, as happy as they can be in their situation. And that's just not always conducive with, right, running a business or being in a position of leadership. Sometimes you have to make decisions that are going to make people mad. Sometimes you're going to have to make decisions that are going to hurt people's feelings. And you are absolutely capable of doing that, which, maybe gets generally kind of a negative connotation to it. But I think that, there's a lot of power in this, especially if you can try to figure out how to do it with a little bit of empathy, right? And to do it in a way that honors not only yourself, but those around you as much as you can. And so I look at this and I feel like, yeah, there is a situation here where you're making some deep decisions about your life, about the path that you will be going on next, because I feel like there's a shift. There's definitely kind of a change of pace of things happening. And here we go. It looks like a bird. We have a worm. It looks like it's going for that worm. So I feel like it's almost this energy, this feeling of kind of, the early bird gets the worm. What does that mean? It's the bird that's up the earliest, right? It's going to get that worm. And we apply that to working and getting things done, right? You want to get up, you want to be the first one there, you want to, have that hunger, that drive. And maybe that is my Capricorn rising, because I am always early to everything. Sometimes, once in a while, I will dawdle. And I do lose track of time. I am diagnosed with ADHD, so I do have some amount of time blindness, but there's something in me that, like, I have to be 15 minutes early to everything, even if I have to sit in my car and wait. Even when I was in college, I would show up like an hour early to my morning classes, and I would just like take a nap in my car until I had to walk over to my class. I've always been that way since I was young. I get a lot of anxiety if I think I'm going to be late. So, I look at this and I think, yeah, maybe that is a Capricorn trait. Maybe that's why we are kind of on top of things, and trying to be one of the first people in there, hopefully getting the job or getting the thing done, or, missing the crowds, trying to get there before everybody else so you have a good seat, or, whatever it is. And so I see you really being very proactive, and this is going to really lend itself to your ability to succeed here, because I think that when you are ahead of kind of the curve there, you feel more confident, which makes sense. But I also think when there is less distraction or kind of competing over things, you absolutely excel. And I see in this situation, as you make this change in your life, really coming into a place of feeling like, yeah, you've made the right choice. Absolutely. Now, we have a person sitting here with their arm raised. We have, it looks like the goddess. We have a snake. We have a solar god over here. You can kind of see, it almost looks like a bird with this disc above. Now, the goddess is usually in these primordial formations, right, or postures. Standing kind of, you know, in the shape of the curved hips and arms raised or at least out a little bit. And so I'm going to go with this being kind of the solar and the lunar, as the goddess is often related to that lunar quality. Now in the middle, we do have that snake, that serpent, which is knowledge. It is also an indicator of that fire element being present, the creative force. You can think of like the Kundalini, or even really just that that stream of energy that flows through all things, that electrical current that brings, yes, life and animation to cells, right? So I feel like there's really this strong energy of not only creativity, but the ability to get something working, right? Now, if you're somebody who has ever built robotics or, you know, I'm thinking of whatever, like an engine, or I'm thinking of myself trying to build my daughter's erector set things that she really likes to do. And I can't get the thing to work, to move correctly, because I'm not good at engineering. That's one thing. But for somebody who is good at these kinds of things and to work diligently at it, and then to kind of that moment where you first turn it on and everything starts moving and working together in the way that you envisioned it, that is a profound feeling, right? And, you know, you're yelling out, Eureka! So I do feel like in your life here, there's such a balance of that kind of interior world with the external solar world, and your life flowing. If you could think of like the two of discs, your life flowing from the macro to the micro and the micro to the macro, all things working together to lead you to the place that you are really focused on getting to. And I think in general, there's just really a sense of passion here. There's a sense of figuring out how to make things work together to get what you need to get. Sometimes, yeah, making these ruthless decisions so that you have to, you know, that's life, right? Sometimes we got to do some things. We got to break a couple eggs. We have to, you know, hurt our own feelings sometimes, you know, do the thing that we don't necessarily want to do, but we have to do. And that's what it is. So, I feel like you come to this place of really getting things moving and feeling so confident in that in the mundane life, in your daily life, that it really does kind of reopen your connection with the divine. You feel very plugged into everything. You can see the moves you're going to make from far away, right? You have it all planned out. Now, does this mean every step is going to go flawlessly? Maybe not, probably not, right? We all need a little bit of misstep and failure along the way so that we learn more, right? So I do. But I also feel there is a time here in this place of, it feels like from the bottom to the top, you're just so confident about what you're doing. There's not even a moment where I feel like you are kind of wobbling. I think you just kind of are going with the thing. Now, at the same time as all of this, I feel that it's kind of like maybe a love connection or a rekindling of passion. You're feeling good about yourself and your ability to create. And so I do feel like there's a confidence in your romantic life, but also maybe your sensual life as well. I feel like there is a real wanting and desire here. And I'm looking at this. I see that we have a person with a bow. I see two people embraced. You can see right here. They're embracing each other. And a person up here who is holding a flower. You can see here's their head. Their arm is extended out. Their leg is right here. And then up here, it's kind of a twisty flower. The flower is up here. And so I do feel like there's a sense of, courtship here. Trying to hit that person right in the heart with that arrow, right? And so I feel like it is coming together. Absolutely. Because there is the embrace. Now, here's the thing, though, about you, Capricorn, is that I think that part of you, and this is maybe the wild card that comes along with a Capricorn person, is that you are so meticulous in most things that you do. Some of this is applied to how you find partners as well. You're very aware of the details of things. You remember like what people like, what they, what they tell you about their histories, and you notice like, how they smell and what kind of perfume they might wear, or cologne, or, what kind of restaurants they like to go to, or you remember all this kind of stuff. And at the same time, there's almost like this, it's like a berserker of love within you. You become enthralled. You become completely immersed in your passions, your desires. At times it can maybe become all-consuming, almost obsessive. But I think that you really work to temper yourself in those areas. But it does. When this arises, when you are in love, you are on top of the world. I mean, it just, it becomes such a central thing to your being. You can get lost in the process of love and courtship and the honeymoon and all of that. And I see that this is something that's kind of coinciding with all of the work that you're doing. And I don't think that you're mad about this. I think that this is something that you just, well, I tell my husband, I like to be in love, right? We all do. But I really love to be in love because it just makes the rest of everything I do so much more potent, right? And so we work towards, in our relationship, my husband and I, a sense of, still like we're dating, like we're courting each other. We are, in this kind of mutual worship of one another because, well, we like each other. We happen to also like each other. But I think it makes things so much easier in life, having a business and a family together. There is a belovedness that it's like, I don't know, like swimming in honey, right? It's maybe that's not the right one. If I was Winnie the Pooh, right? Swimming in the honey, being in that place of just exuberant ecstasy. But it makes everything feel just more deep and meaningful. And now I'm also a romantic, so keep that in mind. I'm very sentimental and romantic, but I see this in the way that, oh, it just feels, have you ever smelled honeysuckle like on a warm day, or any kind of, I think a lot of oleanders, they smell beautiful. Now they're very poisonous, but they smell beautiful. But that warm, oh, it just is, it takes you in, it pulls you into it. It's so gorgeous smelling. And I feel like in that moment when you smell it, it feels like life, it feels like love, it feels like something transcendental, right? It just transports you. Yeah, this is where you're at. I feel like this is where at least you aim to be, and you are getting there, and you are getting there, and you are getting there. Okay, let's see. Now we do have this beautiful, it looks like a flower, it looks like a star. We have a rose. We have the number 12. We have a person fishing. These things all, it keeps repeating itself to me. You're working so hard to continue to readjust things so that your money is flourishing. And that's what it comes down to, is the money, the work, the career. Flourishing. Getting it to that point of, leveling up. All while you are, yes, in courtship, in love. I mean, ultimately, I feel like, maybe Capricorn, it is when you are in the hunt, right? You're in that mode of hunting, gathering, obtaining. That's where you feel most alive. And I feel like there's a peacefulness, there is a bursting of love and energies in your life, and money flowing towards you. And here's the thing, is that you have to be careful of the in these heightened places of getting into paranoia or trying to control things too tightly. That's where I think, Capricorn, you can become quite unbound, is when you love something so much, or you're so immersed in something, and there's a ripple or a minor deviation or whatever, and it becomes the focal point of, well, if this little thing has happened, then what's the greater conspiracy here? What is really going on, And that can lead you down a road that it can be destabilizing, right? And it gets more than anything too. It just, you're very distracted from what you were originally focused on, And I think this is also within the relationships. Everything can be amazing, great. This is the, the love of your life, the best person you ever met. And then there is some kind of deviation or whatever, something happens, and you read deeply into it and you find reasons to kind of push this person away. And I think that, you know all too well what I'm talking about. So trying to really pump the brakes, right? When you start in on these lines of thinking that are going to kind of, get you all in a tizzy. Yeah. And an example, right? Everything's cool, whatever. You try to call your, the person that you're dating. They didn't pick up. So then, you finally get a hold of them, whatever, you're together that night, and you start to think, well, why didn't they pick up? I'm just gonna, maybe I'll look through their phone and see if I can see what they're doing. Stop. Stop. Don't do it. Don't do it. You know what I mean? Like, stop going down those corridors. If you even begin to get the tickle of it, stop yourself, right? Pump the brakes. Do something to change the atmosphere you're in. You start feeling, you know, that thing coming up. Yeah, maybe there's good reason. There could be. But there's also, I think, sometimes, and I'm not discounting how you feel. You know me, I'm always going to tell you, follow your intuition if it's right or wrong. But don't find reasons to get upset or, you know, to do things that ultimately feel like they go against who you are as a person, right? And here's the thing is, yeah, people that are in these really heightened states of connection and you're doing well at work and, you know, whatever, I feel like whenever anything happens, it can really become irritating or frustrating or, yes, like on the cusp of getting paranoid because it feels like everything's going so well. Something must be wrong here. Okay, so allow yourself to walk away from that feeling as much as you can. As soon as you start to notice it, let it go. Do not hold on to it. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to look at the self-care affirmation cards. I'm going to go ahead and flip through and stop where it feels right. That feels about right. Okay. And it says, wanderlust of the spirit. I follow my spirit on its wanderlust, guided by intuition and character. I trust myself to journey freely. I trust myself to journey freely. Awesome. I remember when wanderlust, it seemed like it was like a big, you know, the word was everywhere. If you don't know what it means, it's kind of this desire to just kind of go wherever you feel, wherever your intuition takes you. And yeah, that must be a really fun and lovely feeling. I haven't felt that in a long time. I do within my interior, but I don't like to travel that much, to be honest with you. Not anymore. When I was young, I did a lot, but yeah, I don't know. I've gotten old. I like to just kind of be where I am. All right, so Capricorn. I'm going to tell you I love you because I do. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I read them all and I look forward to them always, every day. And if you're new to the channel, definitely shout it out in the comments. Okay, Capricorn, again, I love you, I love you, I love you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk in a couple days. Good night.